Hey everyone, this show is brought to you by Driffel's Jerky. Are you like us and love beef jerky, but hate paying those high prices for subpar meat? Well, at drifflesjerky.com, they have the money meat.
You said the money meat?
That's right, the money meat. Great tasting beef jerky made from top quality cuts of beef at great prices. Use promo code FranchiseTag to get yourself 10% off on your order today.
That's DRIFFILLS jerky.com. What's up, everybody? It's Aaron and Ray back again with another episode of Franchise Tagged Fantasy Football Podcast. How you doing today, Ray?
You know, since it's draft week, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped. For those of you at home, take a look behind me. That's where the magic's going to happen, right behind you. Right behind me.
That will be the cleanest that anybody sees this board, because with all of our pick trading and all this, typically chicken scratch gets put on there, and this person's in this spot, this person's in that spot. But
wait until it's like, because I'm going to be setting this up with all the picks and stuff like that we've traded already. You know, like that 575,000 page manuscript that you and Jordan and Royce had.
Oh, you mean the 21 pick trade between three of us?
So imagine that, but like 21 of those picks are in the wrong spot, and then they have to be adjusted.
So there's like 70 something total picks that were swapped this year. So
yeah, remind me again on Friday when I'm doing this.
Yeah, if I were there, I'd help you, man, but I'm not there. So
well, for those of you at home, if you'd like to have Aaron fly out to Southern California to be in the draft, please like, subscribe, share, so we can quit our jobs.
That is true. That is very, very true.
That's like my slogan.
Well, you really want to quit,
dude? Let me tell you,
I've noticed this. You really want to quit.
I just want to just
talk Leander into being a stay-at-home house dad.
You know, the thing is that I would just like to make a lot of money, but then not actually work. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to do that. That's
okay. I get what you're saying.
Hey, so Aaron, I got a real quick question for you before we delve into the show, because I feel like we got a few notes to really go over. Some key notes. Okay. But wanted to ask you, think back any point in time in your life, doesn't really matter, most memorable or favorite vacation you've ever been on. That's a moment of silence for those at home, because he's really contemplating.
I don't know.
I can tell you mine.
Haven't really got to do very many vacations with the family. We went to Florida to see my wife's family. That was fun.
It doesn't necessarily be your family. Any point in time, it doesn't matter.
Probably the most memorable one is when I got certified to scuba dive off of the coast of Croatia.
How does he have these stories, yet it takes him that long to figure this out? Can anybody vet that? Can we vet this?
I can. Next, never mind. I can't do that. I am PADI certified, and I have the little PADI card. So
I learn more about Aaron every day. Learn more about it. You know, there's a couple that I'd like come to mind.
Yeah.
I remember when Donnie drove. You know, for those at home, my dad drove 5 billion miles from Southern California to Maryland, and I feel like he did it in 3 days.
To Maryland?
Right. And that was a pretty cool trip. That was something I remember. I was sitting in the back of, like, I think we had a Quest or something at that time. And I was sitting there playing Madden in the back of the Quest on, like, this TV he set up. I had, like, a whole layout.
Really? I figured it'd be like a PSP.
I had PlayStation back then, but not PSP. Or our first trip to Green Bay.
That is a good one too.
That was on the list. Out of all the places that I've been, that's on the list.
That one is definitely memorable. I don't think I've ever seen Ray more on death's doorstep than that one time.
They almost didn't let me on the plane. So for those at home, I was so hungover. The last day that we were there, I don't know if they were going to kick me off that plane. They were like, this guy, he might die. We can't take him with us. So
Ray couldn't speak. Like, if you've ever seen a person that's super dehydrated and like they kind of have that shuffle, and they're like,
that was me.
That was Ray. He looked like death had come knocking, and he said, "Not today, dude.
I'm telling you.
Let me try again tomorrow, but not today."
You know what it did? It was those there was these taste testers out in Green Bay when we were there. Do you remember that?
Oh, we got those free so coins? Many free Miller Lights because
Miller Lights, Coors Lights. I drank them all.
I drank Miller at the time, Miller Light, and they would come up and be like, "Can you taste the difference? Which one's Bud Light? Which one's Miller Light?" And I'd taste it like, "That's Bud Light, that's Miller Light, that's Coors," and we'd get coins for free tall boys. We probably got 18 of those.
I can't even remember. Dude, it was so many. So, and then we got to the game, and at the game, beers were only $5 for a tall can. Some craziness, and they ran out of water, so we had to drink more beer.
That's fair.
Anyways, that's one of the favorite vacations. I wanted to bring that up to you guys. I told you it's gonna be a longer one.
Food at Lambeau's pretty dang good too.
Ooh,
they got a spread.
Let me tell you, the steak place. Anyways, let's get into some news, Aaron.
What's it called? The Prime Quarter. That's what it's called. There it is.
Is that what it is? I can't even remember.
Yes, the Prime Quarter.
I just know the steak place. So I wrote down the news somewhere in between the week.
You don't have to bring this up to people, Ray. This is for us.
I have to.
You don't have to.
This is.
You don't have to put that you wrote it down first.
I wrote it down first. All right. I need them to know. Because I want to remember these things. I was like, oh, Brian Robinson, new running back 1 in Washington, and then 20 minutes later, we find out that he got shot.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Glad that he's okay. Yeah. I guess he was at the facility today. They had pictures with him, and he had a bag of Oreos or something like that. But for right now, obviously, his health comes before football.
Yep.
I still kind of think that he has a chance to play during this season, but
I think he would too. I don't know where he got shot at.
In his leg, his leg and his butt.
Oh, running away. I did hear that he was trying to flee and get away. And
I mean, if somebody points a gun at you, probably. If you ain't got a gun to a gunfight, better get out of there.
That's fair.
I don't know. That's a wild story. But yeah, I hope he's doing all right. Sounds like he is. So second bit of news. Definitely saw that there was chemistry between Tom Brady and Julio Jones. It's immaculate chemistry is what he said.
Immaculate. He's those words?
Immaculate. And this is out of Brady's mouth.
Okay.
So take that for a grain of salt, but still keep Julio's name in mind when you have one of these sitting in front of you. And then last bit of news, really, I think that was really big news. There's a couple other cuts so far. O.J. Howard getting cut, but I don't think that really matters. But the big one is Marlon Mack got cut from the Texans. And how muddy those waters were, I think they became a lot more clear when that happened. And when I say that, it's more because you got Rex Burkhead out there, you got Damian Pierce out there, and then you got Marlon Mack. And is Philip Lindsay still out there?
No, Philip Lindsay was on the Colts and he got cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's cut.
It's a wild
cut from the Colts today. But
I didn't know.
Yeah, to be fair, they cut veteran players to re-sign them all the time, especially coming out of training camp because they don't want to have to pay them the guaranteed money on their contract.
You think that's what happened with Marlon Mack, or you think that they're done with Marlon Mack? The Marlon Mack experience, you could say.
This was his first year there, right?
First year there, first year back from his Achilles tear.
I don't know why you would sign someone just to cut. I mean, I guess maybe it's because what they have in Damian Pierce, but I wouldn't think so.
I would think that it's because they saw what they had in Marlon Mack. They saw that he doesn't necessarily have the explosiveness anymore, and they moved on. But I guess we'll find out later in the week if they re-sign him or not. That's a good point, but
that is true though too. Because I mean, most of the time it takes 2 years to bounce back from an Achilles. Typically, that second year they've got their confidence in their leg back.
Yeah, sometimes it never happens.
That's true too.
Still got atrophy in mind. Let me tell you.
I forgot.
Take a look right at me and Marlon Mack are in Marlon Mack, Cam Akers, and Kobe Bryant were all in the same hallowed Achilles tear
OJ
category.
Howard's in that category too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he ruptured his Achilles in Tampa, and I think that's probably what his downfall was because he was highly touted coming out.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a fall from grace, I guess you could say. But yeah. I didn't know that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he should get an invite too. I don't know. Yeah. What do you got for us today, Aaron?
There are a few more things I wanted to talk about.
Oh, I was like, okay.
So I was, that's why I looked to the side. Like, I know there's something that I wanted to say in there. Yeah. NFL roster cuts were today. They cut down to the initial 53, and it's called the initial 53 because now all of the remaining 200 and something players go into the free agency pool, and teams can now start claiming off of waivers. Technically speaking, I know realistically none of these people are going to be on your fantasy teams, but do still kind of pay attention to who moves where and goes to certain special teams players and things like that, and if special teams or defenses are going to get just a little bit better from new pickups. That is what I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It's understandable. And
so
now would you like to go over what we have today?
So yes, today we have tips and tricks to help you get through, weather the storm, let's put it that way, of the fantasy football season. Everyone knows that it is long. It is, if you're like us and in multiple leagues, very time consuming. But we're here to kind of help you navigate your way to that finish line. See what I did there?
I did see what you did there. I just wanted to vet something real fast. And what I'm seeing, remember when I was talking about Darrell Williams?
Getting cut? Did he get cut?
He did not.
Uh-oh.
So make sure that you keep that name in mind, because
Ronald Jones is on the precipice of potentially getting cut.
He didn't, though.
But it still could happen.
What do you feel?
If they need depth at corner or somewhere else in that offense, you don't think that he's not going to just get the snip?
I mean, how would Jerick McKinnon not be on that list?
I don't know. Maybe they just like what he has to offer more because CEH isn't anything, and they're going to use who did they just sign?
Ronald Jones.
No, there's another dude behind him.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Jerick McKinnon.
That's correct.
And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And that's it. Because not Frank Gore, but what's his name? Gore. The other running back. He had an injury settlement, and he will not be returning to the roster.
Okay.
So it didn't matter who. It's a name that doesn't really mean anything because.
Speaking of names that don't mean anything, Josh Gordon got cut today too. So if he goes to a team, please don't pick him up and waste your waiver priority on him.
No, unless
that ship has sailed. He ruined his chance at being anything great.
Unless you're in like a CFL league,
on a stupid rule.
Like, you got like a fantasy CFL league. Ooh, I bet he's a good pickup there. Maybe.
Probably. Sorry, I'm trying to. I swear the Chiefs had somebody else outside of those three.
I don't remember another name other than those four that really meant a whole lot to fantasy.
Yeah, I'm trying to vet right now. Sorry. Nope,
anyways,
you were correct. And according to Kansas City's depth chart, it goes CEH, Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco, Ronald Jones. That order.
So I wanted to ask you before we get into the meat and potatoes, what do you think of Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now? But you kind of answered that question. You're probably not very high on him.
Yeah, I'm not taking him anywhere.
Falls to the 9th, you're not interested?
Potentially, but at that point in time, you're looking at him or Chase Edmonds, and I'm taking Chase Edmonds.
Okay. So. I think that's a viable question, and I'd like to know if you're listening at home, please put that in the comments. Who you think would probably be the better running back to draft in the 9th round? Would it be Chase Edmonds or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yep.
I kind of lean Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Kind of do.
Okay, that's fair.
Only because he's a first round talent. I don't think they're going to give up on him.
There's not a
whole lot around him, and it's been clear since day one at training camp. He is the number one, so he's going to get the shot.
Yeah.
Now, does he hold on to it? I don't know. He's a good pass catcher.
Nope.
Just not a very efficient runner of football.
That's true.
Anyways.
All right, dude. You ready to jump into the tips and tricks?
Moving on.
You want to go in order? Or you want to jump around?
Let's go in order until it doesn't make sense to go in order anymore. How about that?
It never makes sense to go in order. Live outside the confines of the natural rules of life, Ray. Means be a rebel, dude.
Did you just write a haiku to me?
I don't know, maybe.
Get your Ancestry.com out of my face. What are you talking about?
All right, kick us off, buddy.
All right, so number one, first and foremost, when you're going into the season, check your waiver wire early, often, all the time, but right after the draft is very important. See if there's something that you might have missed. See if there's something that somebody dropped because they didn't draft a kicker or a defense. You might be able to get something nice. You don't even know.
I just literally had a sleeper notification come through on my phone, so I was checking to make sure that I didn't go pick somebody up.
Nope, that was Joseph and his attachments and things.
It was not important, time pressing right now.
Nope.
But yes, to iterate on your point, we finished one of our league drafts, and I immediately proceeded to drop the person I took in the last round, pick up Gus Edwards, who's on the PUP, put him in my IR, and then pick up another player off of waivers who wasn't drafted, who I like, which was Isaiah McKenzie for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Are you a little afraid now of Gus Edwards news with
he's in my
Kenyon Drake?
I mean, does it really matter, honestly?
No, I'm just asking.
He's in my, he's in my IR spot right now.
Yeah, just something to ask is, hey, Kenyon Drake signed with Baltimore and nobody cares.
Yep, that's true. So number two, monitor injuries, and check your waivers accordingly. It's kind of worded a little weird on how it's typed up, but monitor your injuries and the workload every week for your waiver wire is essentially what it's saying. So a lot of this is going to harp on waiver wire, right? Someone gets hurt, you're immediately going to want to go look at the waiver wire, put in a claim to add that person. If you're not playing in a fab league, you need to play in a fab league.
Yes.
It gives everyone a fair shake. It's so much better, especially for the beginning of the season, to kind of help set yourself apart. But we'll come on to that later. But monitor for the injuries and pay attention to workloads, because just because you think you have the starter on your roster right now or the wide receiver one that the quarterback favors, a new quarterback on a new team, for example, pay attention to who's getting more of the target share, who's actually getting targeted on the routes that they're running. If you've got someone who's running 20 routes a game but only getting targeted on 9 of them, and then you've got another person who's running 20 routes a game and getting targeted on 15 of them, you're going to want the 15 targets.
Obviously. One thing to kind of caveat on that, though, is don't just bite on the first, that guy just blew up this week. Don't bite on that all the way. Like, maybe throw a little bit of fab in that way. A little bit of fab there.
Ray, if you feel as though you're knows from experience.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Naeem Hines. Oh, yeah.
So this kind of leads us into the next one. So go ahead and just go into that.
All right. So next one is don't spend all your fab at once. Don't do it. Don't. And unless it is so clear cut, 100%. It's been 6 weeks. This dude is still floating around, and he has got, I don't know, 1,000 yards in that time frame. Then maybe. But outside of that situation, which doesn't ever happen, don't blow the whole wad of cash if you got fab or your number one waiver wire, if that's the case. But go to fab on just a flash in the pan. Try and see some analytics behind it. You know what? Today has just been a tongue tie kind of day. You gotta feel like that. I feel like that's how it's been today. No, not for you.
I feel like that's every day.
It's maybe it is. Maybe it is. But yeah, just monitor what, like we were saying, the workload of somebody, the, I guess, amount they're being used, and then use your fab accordingly to that. Don't just blow the whole thing on one guy for 1 week.
Yep. Have a hard cap for these players. Think in your mind. Yeah. Think in your mind, what would I be willing to spend and be okay with if someone outbid me on that? If it's $12 worth of fab, okay. But if you spend 12 and you're like, man, I would have, and you see that someone spent 15 and you're like, man, I would have spent 15, then just put the 15 down to begin with. You know what I mean? So next, I told you this all kind of goes hand in hand for the first couple, is transactions. You need to be trading. You need to be hitting your waiver wire. You need to be making moves inside of your roster throughout the fantasy season to help better your team. You do not want to be stagnant. If you ever look in your league at the end of the year and it has your transaction numbers for all teams inside of your league, typically the people who make the playoffs and typically the people who are in the finals, the championship game, are the people who made the most roster moves. Doesn't always happen that way, because sometimes people just move people to move people. You need to be smart about it, but you do need to be making moves throughout the entirety of the season to try to better your team.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. And to kind of couple with that, I would definitely, I guess, roll into number 6 here. Know your league.
Yep.
Know your league mates. Know how people are, I guess homers, you could say. You got a bunch of Dallas fans in your league. Bet one of them is a homer, and I bet one of them wants any part of that offense, no matter what.
It's like that with any team, though. Well, any good team. You're not going to see a bunch of Lions fans reaching to get Jared Goff.
It's crazy because when we went to go see that Lions game out in Green Bay, that was the most trash talk I've ever heard in my life, ever. Until the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, then I didn't see any more Detroit fans. Fair. But that's crazy, right? But yeah, know your league mates, and you can trade accordingly to that point alone.
Yep.
Yep. You might be able to package a couple, again, Cowboys players for something nice.
Yeah, that is fair. So we're gonna jump around a little bit. Reminder: all tight ends are trash. Outside of the top 4 tight ends, they're all trash. You're probably gonna be streaming them week to week, anyways. This kind of falls back into the first, few that we talked about. But just remember, they're all not very good. They're gonna get you. You're lucky if you get a tight end that's outside the top 4 that's gonna give you 8 to 12 points, realistically.
I think the difference that we've seen over the last 2 seasons in the tight end 5 and the tight end 10 are very minuscule points, like 10 points or something like that. It means nothing to be a tight end 5.
But from the tight end 5 to the tight end 1 is like 75 points.
That's a big difference. But
yes.
But if you didn't get one of those top 4, that 5th tight end might be something, but most of the time you can stream your tight ends. So stream your tight ends, kind of like you stream your defense. Look at the matchups, look at the defenses that are giving up a lot of points to the tight end, and that's probably your best shot at tight end.
Yeah. That it is. So you're up next, Raymond.
Don't give up after a slow start. At all. Don't do it.
But what do you mean? I'm 0-4 and I have no chance to make the playoffs.
It doesn't matter. Injuries happen. Key transactions in the waiver happen. Free agency and whatnot. You can always make the playoffs, and all you have to do is get into the dance. Once you're in the dance, you can dance with anybody. You can go all the way, baby. All the way. I can tell you right now, that's my personal experience. I've made the playoffs with a negative record, but I didn't give up, and I know people did, and that's how I got in. And I had like a second place finish in that season, but don't give up. Don't sell it.
Don't give up.
Unless you're in a dynasty, then maybe you have to, but don't sell it most of the time.
Yeah. Also, caveat to that, if you are 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm coasting into the playoffs, don't stop making transactions just because you think your team's good. Go pick up the people off the waiver. The last dude on your bench that you haven't played the first 6 weeks of the season, you probably ain't going to play him anytime soon. Go pick up someone that could be the new hotness. You know what I mean?
To double caveat on that, if you are 6 or 7-0, you probably have a roster with some people that have a ridiculously high efficiency that might not be sustainable.
Correct.
Take a look at those guys. Like let's say a few years ago, Adam Thielen. That was a good move.
Take this into the next thing. As we're talking about, we have some people with high efficiencies, right?
Yeah.
You ready for what I'm talking about right here? This is going to be trades. Offer 2-for-1 deals. Offer stuff to push things through. Offer the guy with the super high efficiency after 6 weeks of the season that you think's probably going to drop off. Package him with one of your bench players and move up a tier. And for example, let's say you had, we'll say Adam Thielen, whatever you were talking about, and you went and you packaged him with a decent running back and you went and got Devontae Adams, who you know is going to be consistent year in, year out. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that's going to be the trade, but just for example, put some pieces together. Yes. Using
that crazy efficiency coupled with something that maybe somebody else needs. Like let's say the guy that's struggling that might be 1-4, 0-5. Take a look at that team, see what he's got, see what he needs. You have a guy at high efficiency you don't think is going to always hit that mark or going to be starting to drop off because that efficiency is unrealistic to go the whole season.
Yep.
Stat out the whole season, see if it's going to be a completely record-shattering, course. I guess Cooper Kupp is the outlier to this situation, but you can package some things to get yourself a little more advantage and get yourself ready for the playoffs.
Agreed, man. Agreed. So next up, what you got for us, Raymond?
I'm going to add one in here that's not even on here.
Okay.
Just definitely thought about it right now. When you're coming into the home stretch of your last 2 weeks of the season and you already have yourself a position in the playoffs, start looking at defenses to stream if you got defenses. Start looking at who the defensive matchups are. Stash those teams away because you don't want to get caught holding the bag where the other team that you're playing against has a 30-point defensive game and you could have had that a few weeks before. That's at you, Ruben. That's at you, Ruben.
Yeah. They got lucky that one year and picked, was it 2020, and picked up New England's defense that put they carried him.
I was about to say just
30, 40 points a game.
I can't wait to see the comments.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Man. He's going to say, oh, that was just me being smart.
Just superior drafting.
He didn't even draft me. He picked him up on waivers and beat me by $1. So I'm never going to underbid ever again. So this leads me into another point. Don't be afraid to go get your guy. Fantasy is about having fun, and what's better than having the person that you want to root for on your fantasy team, right?
Dominating your opponents.
Exactly. So go get your guy. If it takes you, don't hear what I'm not saying. Do not sell everything so you have one player. So you have one player. But if you're still to draft and you know the people in your league, it goes back to knowing the people in your league, and you know those people. If you have to reach half a round to a full round to get a guy that you want on your roster, like people do at the turns all the time, do it. Do it. Don't do it for every pick, but do it for your specific people.
Especially those later rounds.
I know this hasn't held up very well, but Antonio Gibson's rookie year, I was in front of you in the draft, and I knew you wanted him, and we were getting to the point in time where I know if I don't take him here, Ray's going to take him, and I'm never going to get him. So I drafted him. I had him for 2 years, and as we've seen now this year, luckily I don't have to worry about it again, but finish at running back 12 and 10, I'm good. I got use out of him for a 5th round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's still solid pick. I still would have rather had Gibson than what I had.
Yeah, that's fair.
But maybe like what did I get instead? Like Todd Gurley or something like that?
I think on Atlanta, yeah. Pretty
tough. Sure. I mean, he lasted a few weeks.
Yeah.
Good couple weeks, but God, did that fall off.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking about Todd Gurley again and how efficient he was and then how non-efficient he was.
Yeah.
Some setting. I thought I had a league winner.
That is true.
Anyways, take risks. Take risks. If you can't win the league being the safe guy the whole time. Sometimes that might work, once in a million times. Might work. But you got to take risks.
I think of one.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. But you ain't going to win that league without taking some risks. And if you got to make a big trade, sometimes it takes a big move. Big man wins big prizes.
That it does.
Whatever saying you want to plug in there.
Yeah, take risks. Take some risks. This counts for draft season and during regular season, this next one. Do not take your own handcuff running back at the beginning of the year. Take your opponent's handcuff running backs late in drafts or off of waivers. If you have your backup running back on your bench, you're handicapping yourself. You're breaking neutral because you're not going to be able to play him anyways. But guess what? You can go out and you can spend your fab and pick him up if you really need to when your player goes down, if they go down. If you take your opponent's running backs early, they're going to be SOL if their running back gets hurt and you have them. Now you have another viable option to plug into your roster to fill in the hole.
I guess that would be a point that you could say that's when you want to really kind of spend up a little more in fab. And everybody's going to know you're going to want to, is if you have, let's say, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes down.
Yeah.
Well, I bet Alexander Madison's going to be a real hot pick on that waiver wire if he's still there.
Yeah.
If somebody isn't already rostering him.
That's what I'm saying. So be the person who's already rostering him.
Yeah.
Don't fill your whole bench up with it, but if you know you have an injury-prone running back, and a standalone running back like Alexander Madison that can be good when the primary back is off of the field, stash him.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes into, that's what I was saying. That's when you can spend a lot of fab right there.
Yep.
And everybody's going to know you're going to. That's for sure. That's why you want to hold on to your fab. Hold on to that. Mm-hmm. That's a lesson I'm learning right now. We're learning it as we talk about this.
Yep.
I'm here.
Always make sure, especially if you have fab, this is mainly for fab, and your fab budget doesn't reset. Always leave like $5 for the season, for the playoffs, excuse me. That way you have money to, like you were talking about, stream defenses and do that stuff. Because if people run out of money, it's a zero bid, then it goes to priority. But you have $1, you can bid $1 on a defense and pick them up. So,
yeah. I think the next couple that I want to bring up, and this is just for your league in general, and this is some stuff that we've seen before, being in a bunch of different leagues together and whatnot, and not together. On the side, Aaron. On the side. Make sure that you have a bunch of people that want to communicate in your league. If you're going to be starting a serious league with money involved or something like that, be sure that everybody's communicating and whatnot with each other and trying to make moves. And you don't have anybody that's trying to auto draft. You don't have anybody that's just trying to sit there and do absolutely nothing, and you have to set their roster. That's not fun.
No, that is definitely not fun. If you are in a league and you are a commissioner of said league, do not run it as a dictatorship. Run it as a democracy. If you or someone else has an idea, put it up to a vote. You can either do unanimous, so everyone has to say yes to it, or majority pass, or 7/8 rule, or whatever you want to do to get. Just don't run it like a dictator. It's no fun for anyone in the league. They're gonna trash talk you behind your back,
and everybody's gonna get upset, and then no one's having fun, and that's the whole point. That's how you get people more active in your league, is everybody's having fun.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is just we've done some things like this in our main league, is to have like little things, have like a last place prize, or I guess it's not really a prize, but have some traditions. Get a trophy. A trophy's like, I don't know what, $60-$70 or something like that, right?
You can get the traveling trophy like we got, where you can put different name plaques and trade it around to people that get to keep it for the year for, I think it's anywhere from $70 to $100.
Yeah, and then the whole
if
league
everyone pitches in,
$10. $10, and you have a piece of memorabilia that has a history of your league, and that's how you get a league to last forever. You know what I mean? That's something to look into. I think I makes the league more fun. I want that trophy sitting in here. I'd have it literally right there if I had it last season.
Yeah, and then caveat with that too, I know we're piggybacking a lot, and I hate that word. I just used it. I hate myself a little more each day.
Little piggyback, huh?
If fantasy managers in your league want something permanent, get one of the rings from Fantasy Champs. They're like $25 or $30. You can get them engraved with their team name, their name, whatever you want, so it stays with them forever. And the traveling trophy, obviously, for the whole entire league. We do last place wears a really, really nice T-shirt.
We'll see if it's there.
Have yet to see it, to be able to see it worn, though, because for some reason, 2 for 2 years, the person who finished last place when we started this tradition has quit. Don't be that person.
Can't deal with quitters. Just take it on the chin. And it might be a third person. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out Sunday.
Yeah. With that being said, too, guys, no one likes inactive people in their league. So if you made the commitment to be in the league, especially like us, long-term keepers, dynasties, redraft, not so big of a deal, but keepers and dynasties where you keep players or you have a set roster for years and years and years, don't quit on the people you told you're going to make a commitment to last minute. Tell them, hey, I'll play this season, but next season you need to find somebody else. Give them ample heads up time. Don't just disappear.
Open communication.
Yeah. Fine. And if you're in a deep, not a deep league, but a long league that has longevity where you're going to be playing seasons for seasons, get a co-manager. Get one of your friends, get a co-manager, invite them to co-manage your team. That way, if you leave, they could take over primary ownership of that team if they want to.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So.
And there's one more thing that I remember. I saw it on a TikTok. I got to bring it up to you guys. I don't know what TikTok page that was, and I want to find that again. But it was like this fantasy football league, and they were taking TikTok video of their actual draft, and they have like custom jerseys, and like each one of them has like a team name or a team icon, whoever they're like. Say I'm a Packer fan, I'm gonna have a Packer emblem on my jersey, but it's like a league jersey. You have your number on your name and stuff like that in the back. I thought that was really cool. And they like do like a whole big barbecue, and it just looked really cool. And I asked them like, "Hey, you guys got a room? You got a room for a guy? I know a guy that would like to be in your league."
Yeah, well, I mean,
I thought it was pretty cool.
I don't know if you did that accent, they probably wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, they're like, "Nah, that guy sucks. Got scrub. Get him out of here."
But yeah, man. Yeah. So, you got anything else, Ray?
You know, I think that's gonna wrap up this very short episode today.
Yeah. It's pretty decent time.
Look, this is right before the season starts, so I know everybody's real excited.
I'm pumped.
This is the dead week between the fictitious action and the real action.
We just have to make it to the 8th.
And then we're on.
That's it. College football's technically going on right now, but who cares?
I don't really care about that. We're talking about the real, the bigs, the NFL.
We're talking about the 1% of the 1% of the 1% right here, okay?
You're right. And you are all that 1% if you are liking, subscribing, and following on this YouTube channel and Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Very true. Yeah, right. You
nailed it.
Man.
I got one more thing. Hold on. I got one more thing. You want to win your league? You want to be productive in your league? You want to take home that ship? You better hit that like, that subscribe, that follow. Hit us up on Discord. Let us know, because that's our last rule, the biggest rule. Follow Franchise Tag Fantasy Football.
That is true.
Right? I think that's
true. So, guys, please, as Ray said, follow us on. How do they do this? Let me think. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. No, follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell on YouTube. We will be doing YouTube live videos this year. During the season, it'll probably be Saturdays where we put up DFS lineups, or Sunday mornings where we talk about last minute start sit decisions from you guys. But we will be doing more stuff like this. So please hit that bell so you know when we go live. And as always, Ray, we will see you later.